We did a poll on the David Pakman Show YouTube channel about our audience's opinion as to what will ultimately happen with the confirmation of Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh to that court. We may ultimately know by Monday. This is not a scientific poll. It's merely a reflection of what the people in our audience who opted to participate believe, okay? I'm not presenting this as a scientific poll. The numbers are quite clear, though, and we will put them up on the screen for you, and I tend to agree with these. The question was, what do you think is the most likely outcome for Brett Kavanaugh? And as of this morning, with 10,000 votes cast, 49% of our audience, a plurality, believes that Kavanaugh will ultimately be confirmed and will become the newest Supreme Court justice. Second, not that far behind that, Pat, is that 38% of our audience believes that Kavanaugh will not withdraw, but will ultimately fail to get the 51 or 50 plus tiebreaker from Pence votes that he needs in the Senate. Only 9% think that Kavanaugh is going to withdraw, and only 5% believe that the White House will withdraw or force Kavanaugh to withdraw that nomination. I tend to sort of agree. I had this period for a while where I thought, it doesn't matter what happens, this guy's getting confirmed. There was a brief moment where it really seemed that the tide had turned against Kavanaugh with multiple accusers, and that it was going to be impossible for this guy to continue through the process. I'm back to thinking he gets approved.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the tipping point would be Christine Ford's testimony, right? And enough Republican senators sympathizing with her, believing her, and knowing that their constituents are going to believe her as well, and make it so that they're not going to push this guy through. But we don't know. I mean, the Republicans will do just about anything to get a political win.
And the other thing, and you mentioned this yesterday, I think, we are assuming when we say we just need a couple Republicans to change their minds, we are assuming every Democrat votes against this guy. Rarely does every Democrat vote against a Republican president Supreme Court pick. Rarely does every Republican vote against a Democratic president Supreme Court pick. So only if we start from the assumption that every single Democrat is going to vote no on Kavanaugh, do we even arrive at a situation where you only need a couple of Republicans to change their minds. Could that happen? It could.
Yeah.
It's the usual suspects. Murkowski, there's an interesting picture, by the way, from yesterday or even early this morning of Dianne Feinstein seeming as though she has Murkowski kind of cornered, the implication being she was giving her a serious talk about Kavanaugh. I think in the end, it could have been anything, and I don't know that it's a foregone conclusion that Murkowski votes against Kavanaugh.
Isn't it just crazy how, in response to the Me Too movement, so many people have been taken off television, so many people have lost their jobs, and yet now it seems as though we're going to have two Supreme Court justices, both of whom credibly accused of sexual assault, and the president himself, too. It seems like, for some reason, political office, they don't have to face the same consequences as everyone else.
Billy Bush lost his job because of the content of the Access Hollywood tapes. Trump was the guy in those tapes actually saying the really damaging stuff. He was elected president of the United States, but Billy Bush lost his job. I think maybe he has a new job now. I don't know. It's backwards. It's backwards. That's the unfortunate reality. Today's program is sponsored in part by Blinkist.com/Pakman. I've talked about Blinkist before. It's this awesome app that I've been using for several months now. And what it does is take the best and most critically acclaimed nonfiction books and condenses them into 15-minute audiobooks that you can listen to in one sitting. You could listen to 10 books in an afternoon. I know that many in our audience want to expand their horizons and learn more about all sorts of different topics, but we're mostly limited by time to some degree. I know I'm not able to read all of the books that I want simply because I've got other stuff going on, and that's why Blinkist is such a great tool. You can absorb the most important information and insights from a book in one sitting, and our audience can get a 7-day free trial by going to Blinkist.com/Pakman. If you're watching on YouTube, click the link in the video description. And after that free trial, if you like Blinkist, and I think you are going to like it, you can continue enjoying thousands of condensed audiobooks for about $5 a month. Go to blinkist.com/PAKMAN.